Today, we're starting the 11 Football Manager solo campaign, starting our footy manager journey at the only club that would hire us, Brickton FC. And this scenario is going to be blooming difficult as we are the runts of the division, an amateur team who have just turned semi-pro. And our board want us to stop in this division so as we can march on to further glory. All we have to do is not finish in the bottom two. Easier said than done as we have fierce competition. Rules I'll go on about later. Our club also want us to gain 21 manager points, train 3 youths and play 2 games in a sold out stadium. So let's get on with it. Our secondary objective is to be competitive against our rivals, who are Downtown United. All we have to do is beat them in a match, and then get extra for finishing above them in the table whilst we're going 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 tactically. Our board are set up for this team already, but Anna has given us Judy, a great fitness trainer, for free. Liam lets us keep 3 fitness tokens at the end of the week, which is always useful. And Gennaro lets us hire a sponsor card for a paid action. Never forget that one, as it's free money. Even if you have to get rid of them, there's plenty of them available. Regardless, we start week 1 with our Monday board meeting, and one of our players is bursting with energy, so we can gain a bonus. But alas, we have no players yet, so it's a bit of a useless meeting. So it's on to Tuesday, and we hire Jackie's Burgers to be our shirt sponsor, gaining us a permanent 2 to our cash flow. And we also hire Maldito Games, I believe it is, to be our ad board sponsor, giving us £3 and a permanent fan increase by using the paid action of Gennaro. On Wednesday, we buy our first named player, Gutierrez, who is an attacking defender. Players I absolutely adore on this game. And we train him up using Tina, so he gets 4 fire for the next game, 3 regular, and if he scores, he can score again. Never underestimate this type of player. On Thursday though, we hire our last ad board sponsor, Football Insiders, who give us 3 more quid and 5 on the weekly income track, filling it out completely. So hopefully we won't have any more money issues. But it's on to match day, and since Midland have such great midfielders, I'm basically giving up the midfield and going for goals. Hopefully, Guti can bang 2 in for me, as Middleham are a blue team, and that means they gain an extra goal for the first 2 that they score. Brutal? But regardless, let's see the result. And of course, we start off with a brutal 4-2 loss, which was such a shame as Guti banged in 2 from corners, but our wingers weren't good enough to defeat their keeper, and thus their great midfielder and striker banged in 4. Would have been a draw normally, but that fierce competition is a sodding brutal rule. We roll for 4 anyway on our match consequence, and so Guti is going to be rated 2 fire next match. Should still be fine at this level though. And in the league, we are rooted to the bottom, but Cornfield and Blackstone are catchable since they ended up drawing. Anyway, it's on to week 2, and after paying our fees, we have £5 left in the bank. And for our board meeting, we hire an intern whom wants to work at the club, so we pick up Jose Miller, who is a pretty decent scout. Putting him to use on the Tuesday, buying both Kone and Kos, a goalkeeper whom we're kind of desperate for. You always need a goalkeeper in this game. And a very good striker, but one who could cost us VP long term. Hopefully it's not too bad though. On Wednesday, we give a shout out to Fussball TV, earning us £5, and we use Judy to give us 2 strength tokens, with us opening the 3rd stand on Thursday, ready for the game. And it's that game against a red team in Blackstone Kings which scares me, as they go 2 ahead before kickoff. So I needed to focus correctly on this one, and as they are 4-4-2 with a heavy defence, I've decided to go for more attacks from the back, as they should hopefully be more weak in those areas, but I feel this one will be close. And it is, as we notch our first win on the board. 3-2 was the final score. Kos and Guti banging them in, and Kone stopped their striker from scoring also. So it's a top-notch win for us, and after the match, not only does Kone add 2 more saves to his game, shame he's still only 1 fire, but we also get 6 on the match reward, meaning we get a permanent fan upgrade. Amazing. We also go into 3rd from bottom in the league, so we are on course for our season goal, as we get £6 in the bank going into week 3 after running costs. Going into week 3's board meeting though, we discover one of our players has a gambling addiction, so we hire a doctor to hopefully sort that out. On Tuesday, we hire our first youngster and train him up. Braga is his name, and he will be a temp 3-fire defensive midfielder for the upcoming big game against our rivals Downton. On Wednesday, we sign Zambrano, as he's an attacking midfielder, and now we have 1 in every section for shooting, which is what I like to have, along with using Judy to gain 2 fitness tokens. Lastly, on Thursday, we buy our 4th stand, so we can now have full capacity games on a weekly basis and work towards our objective. Talking of secondary objectives though, this is the big match against our rivals who are red, so get 2 sodding goals. I match up their 4-4-2, pushing their right flank with attackers, Zambo starting due to Braga's power. But result-wise, it was a valiant effort, alas, though we could only draw. So we don't defeat our rival, and I really become annoyed at these stupid fierce competition rules, as that's now 2 matches we should have won but lost because of it. Regardless, we roll a 4 for match effect, so get a 10 boost for the next game, which I immediately place on Kone. Strength 2, 3 saves is amazing at this sodding level. And we are still 3rd from bottom in the league, level with our rivals, so we might be able to pick up the 2VP at the end if we beat them, I still believe. I don't know about that rule. Regardless, the 2 teams at the bottom both lost, so we have some leeway at least. 1 more win out of the 3 might see us safe, as we have £5 spare after running costs going into week 4, which should be a relegation decider versus Cornfield. First, of course, we have a board meeting where we lost one of our old medals, and because our board have more pressing concerns, they just ignore it. So on Tuesday, we hire another fitness trainer, just in case we need to push up our fitness tokens, and it also gives us 5 VP at the end of the game, due to having 3 reds in the set. On Wednesday, I hire Charles Simpson, who pushes our green track up to the max and gives us a permanent 5 strength tokens every turn with that bonus. We also use Tina to train up Zambo, who is now a 5 power CM for the next game. That's brutal. So on Thursday, all we can realistically do is work towards our next youth player goal by hiring a defender prospect. And then it's match day 4, and we need to win this one. Cornfield are playing 4-3-3, and they apparently focus on midfield attacks. So I've kept the same formation, and I'm hoping to outscore them with my 3 great players, especially since they are green and so only get 1 bonus for the first goal. So let's go to the results. And we couldn't have asked for a better outing, as we score 4 goals and only conceded 2. What a win that is for us. It's amazing, and that should now be us pretty much safe in this division. But unfortunately, we roll a 2 at the end of the match, so my youth gets a serious injury. Maybe he fell off the team bus or something at this point, because he's only here because of the board. In terms of the league though, we are still unfortunately 3rd from bottom, and we have Steelchester up next, who are running away with the league. And as we go into week 5, we end up suffering heavy running costs and suddenly only have £2 left in the bank. Too much staff and players, it seems, trying to keep us up. But we move on now to Monday of week 5, and we get a message from our sponsors which boosts Kone with a permanent fire upgrade, meaning he now has 2 save power and 3 gloves. Brilliant. That should help us massively. On Tuesday we hire our last youngster and use Judy to get 2 strength tokens. On Wednesday, not only do we hire Jenny Pedson, who instantly trains up a Fumba, a sudden brutal winger who I absolutely adore in this game, but I also use Tina to finally train up Koss to stop him draining our VP once and for all. Lastly, on Thursday, I give a shout out to earn £5 and then use the Medea to earn us even more strength tokens. So we go into match day and Steelchester line up with a 3-5-2. Heavy counter-attacking midfield. Their strikers do nout. So I've pushed Guti over onto the left in a 4-2-4. As teams in this game, I will say this, tend to not block left sides, I have noticed. And I'm letting them through basically, trying to attack down both wings and hope we outscore them, as they already have 2 from being red. But that doesn't stop us from romping home to a 5-3 win. And my God, was that a joyous occasion as we guarantee our survival in the 3rd division and celebrate all throughout the night. What a win that is, as our goalkeeper saves us from their midfielders' shots. We couldn't stop their left back, but placing Guti out left won us this match. And I might make him a permanent left back now, as I think I've got this game covered, but they do not seem to defend down that wing very much. And if they do from midfield or left back, they tend to only be like 2 maybe. They tend not to be 3 or 4. So I'm glitching onto something there, I feel. But let's see what happens next week against the Greytown Bulls. And as you can see in the league, that midfield is really packed now as we climb up to 2nd in the table, which I see us holding, but 2nd from last core mathematically catch us, and that's all that matters, as running costs leave us with £9 in the bank. And Braga gets a permanent injury going into the last week. Did forget about that one, but just remembered. The last board meeting of the season, though, sees us sue AliExpress for flogging fake shirts, and it really means nout overall. On Tuesday, we build an office and then use Jenny to train up Sun, our last youth that completes our objectives fully, leaving Wednesday and Thursday for stadium upgrades as we build a training field and 3rd ad board ready to make use for next season, as we will be stopping on as manager. We have already signed our contract extension. But on to match day, we see that the Bulls deploy a 5-3-2, and they have great midfielders. So we give up that midfield and hope our keeper helps us out as we push fully down the left flank, hoping to outscore them or even draw. And we end the season with a thumping victory. 5-2 is the score at full time, and what a season it's been for these players. My stars of the season are both Koss and Zambino, though Kone in goal should not be understated. And I think I'll be keeping one of these 3 players, well, 2 of these 3 players. I'm still unsure, but this stage, but I'm going to definitely be keeping 2 of them, as we can only keep 2 next season. We do roll a 1 on the match chart, so give Guti and Afumba the injuries. But that don't matter as we end up finishing joint first in the league. Steelchester only claiming top spot due to being a red team. And part of me is glad, as I want to stop on for the 2nd year. And if we won, we would have been forced to leave. But how many points did we get in the end? Well, we got 35 if I counted them correctly. I did have Koss robbing a couple mid-game, but this was great this time around. First time I played this a few months ago, I still didn't finish rock bottom with just 1 point. So I've played a blinder with this one. I did get really unlucky before, in all honesty, with only having massively defenders all over the transfer list and on the youths side of things. But thanks for watching anyway. Hopefully I can do season 2 pretty soon.